All right, so hopefully this is just slotting in somewhere nicely, but we forgot to do ads. So our first ad is Pugna, which is PVGNA. They're an online platform and community where high-skilled Dota players and coaches create educational video guides on how to improve at the game, learn new Dota heroes, and help folks climb the ranks. The platform is What was that?
That was just a yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like encouraging.
I thought
you only have a minute to do this. By the way, you were burning time.
Oh
I was
my
going to
goodness!
time you
Wait,
at a minute.
can we start again? Can we get rid of this one?
No. Keep going. No, you're on the clock though. Keep going.
Really? Okay.
I'll give you some extra time, but
All right, okay.
I decided to time you. Sorry.
The platform is ad-free, and each hero guide is divided into separate videos tackling specific concepts of.
Oh yeah, you got a lot to go.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Wait, can we actually start this again?
No, you're good. Keep going. This is good content.
This is not good content.
It's fantastic. Keep going.
Each guide also has an accompanying Dota client stream guide to help you apply what you've learned from your Pugna coaches.
You can paraphrase a bit too. It's all good. This is just a rough outline.
Like
that next line. I think you just omit that one. I think you're fine. I think we've given enough. Like the ad just has to be entertaining for it to be relatively working. So
I mean, it is like
this is good so far.
It's 3:30 a.m. And I'm just like, wait,
yeah,
does that even?
I'm just saying.
All right,
yeah,
we're just gonna
sure.
power through. Okay. Oh my god, this is actually like an actual disaster. There is plenty of content for players of all skill levels to learn from. So whether you're just learning the game, have already played for a long time, or are just a veteran looking to brush up, there's plenty for you to learn from. You can try out the full Pugna Pro subscription for 30 days, 100% free, with the promo code 4th. And you can find Pugna on Twitter at Pugna, which is PVGNA, or at Pugna.com.
That was great.
Hello everyone and welcome to Teach Me Tuesday. I am your host B-Dub and I am here with Proud. Hello Proud.
Hey.
Hey. And as always we are sponsored by Pugna and Unicorn, but we'll... Oh, did you want to say something?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something. But
I probably made a sound, but that's just kind of what happens to me.
All right. But we'll hear about our sponsors a little later on in the show. So, how's Dota been treating you recently, Proud?
Well, for those of us who are patrons, I guess, well, this is a weird way to intro things. On my part, not yours. Dota's been fine. A little side note just for everyone listening. Last night, we were supposed to put out a Patreon episode, but no one was really around, and they were just like, it's a holiday, whatever, it's fine. But I recorded one at like 3 a.m., and I made it public for everyone. So if you, a little Christmas present from us to you, mostly me, I get most of the credit. But yeah, if you needed something to listen to at some point, our Patreon page, it's got that stuff. Normally that content is better, but also reserved for the $5 patrons. So if you liked it, maybe consider giving us your money, because that would be great. And that's how I survive. Okay, so yeah, sorry. As you were saying, Dota is going well for me, which you would know if you had checked the Patreon page.
I have not.
Not playing as much. Not playing as much Dota because I'm playing more measured. I'm playing like I'm winning a few games, and then I'm like, that's enough ranked for today. I won a couple. I'm set. I'm not doing the like play till I win thing. Like if I lose 2 games, if I lose 3 games, I stop. And then if I win 2 games or 3 games, I might play one more and then I'll stop. But yeah, I've been playing pretty varied stuff. I've been playing a lot of Doom, as I've been talking about a lot. Doom offlane is still my fucking bread and butter. Yeah. Jakiro support. That's what I talked about on the Patreon episode, was a lot of Jakiro.
Oh, okay.
Slardar, Queen of Pain's my mid. Kind of pretty similar stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of subbed out the Venge for Jakiro a lot, but that's just because Jakiro's like Venge and Jakiro are the 2 supports that I've always loved. So I'm just kind of going between those 2 friends. And, Luna's still good. That kind of business.
Sounds good.
Yeah. How about you? How's your Dota?
Yeah, well, it's all right. I mean, I've been playing a bit of Doom, or attempting to anyway. I think most games have been bad, apart from one, which I think went okay.
Okay.
But, I think that's just kind of like the way it goes, right? When you're trying to pick up a new hero, you kind of, you go in thinking, I'm going to do this. And then you don't do anything that you set out to do. And then you lose. But then sometimes you win. And that feels nice.
Yeah. I mean, I have Doom is like one of my most played heroes at this point. So that may be part of why I think he's the best hero right now. And I don't actually think that, but why he's my favorite offlaner to play. But I believe you'll get there. I believe in it. Let's see. Wait, 7th most played hero. Yeah, I have 180 games of Doom.
Nice.
What a good boy. 55.5% win rate. 3 5s. The law of 5s up in my Doom. Anyway,
he just seems to work in kind of any scenario against kind of there's no bad. I don't know. He's not bad in any team comp, it seems. Yeah, the only time when he's really bad is when your team doesn't have any decent AoE disable or AoE initiation. Because you can't really initiate a fight with Doom. You can pop in and Doom someone, but then the rest of their team is just going to kill you. Yeah. It's not like a Blink Ravage or an Echo Slam or, Slardar crushes and then 4 stabs away and then your team uses that to initiate the fight. Doom's not quite like that, but for everything else, he's pretty good. He's pretty fine. And if you really do need that, you get the Centaur and you blink Centaur Stomp because that's a thing you can do, which is great. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that was something I noticed when I first picked him up because I was always expecting, you get Doom, you get your Doom off, everything goes to plan, and then, actually, my Doom, I managed to Doom the person I wanted to, but it didn't actually really work out the way I wanted it to. And then the rest of the team just killed everyone. And then it's but I Doomed. I'm supposed to win now. But yeah, people just walk away and then survive it because it's not going to kill anyone. It's just going to kill them if they stay in the fight. But if they just walk away, then you're all right, well, hope my team can win this fight without me doing anything. Yeah. I had a real sad game of Troll Warlord today. That was really bad. It was just terrible. I don't know why I just thought about that. Just talking about losing. Is it this hour and 30-minute game? Yes. Okay. It was horrible. Actually, the worst. I'm looking at it a little bit. It doesn't look fun. I just built really bad items and it just... It just didn't make... The items look okay. There is no BKB here, I will say. That really, seems to be some sort of a bit of an issue, maybe. That was a massive issue. And then it was kind of too late by the time I realized I'd made such a massive mistake. And then I was I don't know. This Shadowblade into Blink Dagger build is inspiring, but I'm not exactly sure about why. I mean, I don't really have an explanation for it, to be honest. Yeah, you just kind of felt it. Yeah, I mean, it's never. I mean, it's an inspired choice. Not a lot of people are going to build Blink and Shadow. It's good to be you know what? I'm so good. All I need is mobility, and I'll just as long as I can get to my target, there's no way I lose and have 19 deaths. There's no way. If I get the connection, we're set. The thing is, it was a valuable lesson. I think never to build Blink. And I mean, honestly, I don't really think, is Blink really a good item on him? I don't know. It's not bad, but it just seems like there's so many better ones, and I don't know why I built Blink is not bad on Troll, honestly. If you're at the point where you're far enough ahead that all you really need to do is connect with someone and then just pop your ulti and then just smang on them and then you stun lock them and kill them, that's fine, but you're not really going to do that unless you have, some real items on you. Yeah. And Shadowblade is not one of those items. Yeah. Yeah. He's a difficult one. I don't know. He's fun, but I'm not sure whether I should I'll probably still practice him, but maybe he's a bit... I would just not deviate at all from the standard build. Yeah. And I think you'd be okay, because... there's definitely things to change up. I like that you got the Shadowblade here because you're against a Phantom Assassin and also a Bloodseeker. So disabling, if you turn that into a Silver Edge, that would have been good. Yeah. But even then, I would have still gone Boots, Mask, Aquila, Sanjanyasha,
and then maybe Shadowblade BKB and then Silver, or like, you know, Sanjinyasha BKB then Silver Edge, something like that. But I feel like on Troll Warlord or any of these heroes that get items like Manta or Sanjinyasha, like anytime you trade out an item that's going to give you health and like tankability for something else, you need to get that like tankiness immediately elsewhere.
So should I always...
And like Troll gets like a double-sided tanky, because it's like the Sanjinyasha, which has 16 strength on it, and then a BKB, which obviously has like invaluable magic immunity.
So should I always build the Sanjinyasha before I build like a Shadowblade or something like that?
Yeah, I think you just always go for the Sanjinyasha. Like the move speed to be farming, and like the slow is real nice, because like sometimes your bash doesn't proc, but the slow lets you keep on someone so that you will get it up. Yeah, it's just like necessary, I think.
Okay, yeah, because that's definitely something I haven't been doing. I've been building the Shadowblade first if I'm going Shadowblade, and then I'll get the Sanjinyasha afterwards.
Yeah, that's a weird build I like used to do, where I would go. I think this was when Helm of the Dominator was the thing. I don't know. It was when Dom was a thing, like way back when. I would go like Phase, Dom, Wand, and then Shadowblade or something. That was something I saw some pro doing, and it was just like you would just get the Shadowblade early and just kill a bunch of people, and that's cool. But if you don't snowball off of it, it just sucks. And killing people isn't super valuable early game. So just rushing out the Shadowblade and instead of farming, you're just going for kills is. I mean, it's just like it doesn't actually help you that much.
Yeah, okay. I won't do that then. Actually, I want to talk about, whilst we're talking about items, I want to talk about drums. Because that seems to be something...
Fun fact, everyone calls it drums, but it is actually one individual drum. But it has charges, so it's not like you use up one drum. It's just... It's drum of endurance, which does not roll off the tongue at all.
Oh, I see.
Like drums feels better to say. Anyway, that's just a little thing I learned once, and I'm just trying to spread the gospel about.
So we should all stop saying drums, and we should just say. So I want to talk about. I
think we should keep saying drums. Yeah, because that sounds awful.
Sounds
like
weird,
I want to talk about drums. Like cool, yeah, but I want to talk about drum. Like, just one. You don't want to talk about them as a group. Like yeah. Anyway, I think. Calling it drums is good. Not a lot of people know that.
No, I didn't even think about that. Everyone calls it drums.
Well, the more you know. You just gained MMR.
Oh, nice.
And that's going to really help you in the game. Someone's going to tell you to buy drum, and you'll be like, oh, I understand what they mean. Yep, it's going to help a lot.
So it seems to be like it's always seemed it's I usually get it on Doom just because I guess like movement speed is really good. But like, I don't know, like the thing I don't really understand is like why drum seems to be super good at the moment. Like it just, or maybe this is just like the way I am seeing Dota, which might not be the way it actually is, but drums didn't seem to be that popular, and now it seems to be really popular. And why is that? And I don't know. It always seems to be one of those items which it's like, couldn't I get something better?
Yeah. It like goes away, and then all of a sudden everyone's saying like drum is actually pretty good, and then it goes away completely, and then people keep saying it's good again. Yeah, drum exists in a very weird space where it's not quite as cheap as an Aquila. It's not built out of any of your starting items like an Aquila is, and it's not big enough to be like a Yasha or like something that builds into a bigger item. Like it's not an armlet by any stretch. It's not like a Mask of Madness. It just doesn't have a hugely defined role, and it doesn't do anything game breaking. Like it's not a Force Staff. Like I'd much rather have my support to have a Force Staff than a drum. Yes, Force Staff's more expensive, but that's kind of the point. And it's more expensive than an Urd of Shadows. It exists in a weird space. But like any item in Dota, it's kind of like most items are only good if you take advantage of literally every single fucking aspect of that item. And it's kind of just in a spot where there are a lot of good heroes that do take advantage of every aspect of that item. One part of it that is really good is that it has the 0.75 mana regen. And that's better than it was before, I think. I think before it was like 50%. And the way those things convert is pretty weird. But yeah, it's like an upgrade on the Sage's Mask, so you gain, like half a Sage's Mask of value. So it's an item that solves your mana regen. It's got the 7 strength on it now as opposed to 6 it had last patch. So it gives you a bit more health, and it makes it kind of decently tanky. And then it's got, some int on it for some extra mana pool. And the active for it is really good at team fights. Like 35 attack speed is super strong, and 13% move speed also good. Like it's nice for team fights. And the way that it gives base move speed is really good. Like that's just good.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything modifies off of your base. I need to cough. I did it. Pretty much everything modifies off your base. And since it's an aura also, like if you have like a Phantom Assassin on your team, Phantom Assassin has a decent amount of, I guess a Morphling might be a better example. Morphling has really shit move speed, but he has a bunch of agility. So he has like, a 20% modification on his move speed, and that's 20% of his base. So if you add 20% to his move speed, that 20% is modified, or that if you add 20 to his move speed from Drum and an Aura, that 20 is then modified by Morphling's 20% extra move speed. I shouldn't have said 20% because there are two 20s. There's a 20 move speed on the Drum and a 20%. It's confusing. I'll say 30. The 30% that he gets from agility is then going to be, is then going to modify the 20 that Drum gives you, which is like a minor thing. And I've talked about it enough that probably seems like the major point now. But anyway, Drum is it's like a nice kind of in between on a lot of items. Like if you're at a point in the game where you don't want a small item, but you need some kind of mana regen and you want to be relatively tanky, and you don't really have a lot of things in particular to play to. Like there are a lot of heroes that there's no actual one good thing that they do well or that they need to help them out. Like Brewmaster is a good example. Once Brew uses Brew Split, what the fuck else does that hero do?
Right.
Nothing. So you're like, I guess I'll get auras because my Brewlings carry auras, which is the reason that you go auras on that hero, because each of your 3 boys all carry the same aura. So like if you get a Radiance, all 3 of your boys are going to Radiance burn. If you get an AC, you can have 3 times the area covered by AC, which is it's okay. It's not great, but whatever. And then there's heroes like Doom, where like what does Doom need to do his shit? Like pretty much all high end items. There's BKB, there's Blinks. There's, fucking Shadow Blade and like Halberd and all these like really expensive things, but there's nothing that's like, cheap.
Yeah.
And as far as cheap items goes, there's like Aquila and like Medallion and Urn, Drum. It's like those all do very specific things, and then Drum is just Drum. Yeah. So if you don't want those items, you might want a Drum if you have gold for it. Support's normally like you don't have throwaway gold for that shit. So if you're gonna get a transitionary item into getting like bigger items later, and you need a bit of stats to kind of get you there, Drum is a good candidate. That probably went on too long, but that's my thought about Drum.
No, I think that was
why Doom wants Drum as its own thing. I mean, why each hero wants Drum as its own thing, but.
Yeah. So I guess like you're ideally not ending the game with drums, right? Like you're swapping it out for something else.
Yeah, it'll be one of the last items you replace, because like you're going to replace your Aquila by like your 5th or 6th, or by like your 5th item for sure. But your Drum, like I'm going to be swapping my TP out to keep my Drum. Yeah. And then my 6th slot will be me selling my Drum. Because like a lot of the things that you want to replace are items that you don't need their usage anymore. Like if I have an Urn of Shadows and I've been using that to keep my team alive the entire game, and then I have enough gold to replace it, like if I do that, that's good, but now my team has no like regen after a fight, which shouldn't be a big problem late in the game, but like that kind of thing. And if I replace my Drum, I better get mana regen from someone else or somewhere else, and I better not need the movement speed anymore, because there's not another item that's just going to give my whole team move speed. But like after it's out of endurance charges, it's whatever. Like it's not that great anymore, so it's fine to sell.
Yeah. So that was actually going to be the next question I asked, because you can refill it, right? No, you can't.
Nope. I mean, you can buy a new one. You can buy a new Drum, but you can't refill it. I thought you could
refill the charges. I
don't think so. I mean, I can check that right quick.
Yeah.
If you can, though, I wouldn't waste the gold. I would just get a new item.
Like I never have done. Yeah. I've never even kind of bothered to.
Yeah, that was people used to talk about doing that pretty often. Like, oh, can we add this? Oh, I guess you can
by buying a recipe, right? Like,
Yeah, I get you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm glad I test things unlike Ursinity. Yeah, it refreshed it. I would never do this, though. I would not do that. Right. I highly don't recommend ever doing that.
Hey, look at that. I knew something about the game. Like, I'm like impressed with myself. Especially after like...
And I did. Yeah. Well, there you go. Fucking Teach Me Tuesday right here. That's why it's non-specific. It's not Teach B Tuesday. It's Teach Me so that anyone can claim the title.
After last week of me realizing that BKB gets...
You don't have to repeat that one. That's fine.
I still think about that. I was still thinking about that this week. I've been like, oh, but at least now I know, right?
If you... Yeah, if you learn Dota only playing supports, like, that's not something that you would, like, learn quickly. Yeah, true. Right? Like, there's so many things in the game that you don't really question if you don't understand something someone's saying. You just kind of like, I can roughly understand what's going on, and we'll take it from there. Like, it's understandable that wouldn't be something that comes up. But, yeah, I mean, that's, every so often there's some bits of information that slip by. It's just unfortunate that was, like, a pretty important one. Anyway,
sorry, we're gonna move on from this. So, actually, whilst we're still talking about items, we have a question from Alex Rogers on YouTube saying, is Hurricane Pike the best value recipe in Dota?
I would say so. Honestly, like, it's built out of a 4-staff, which is an amazing item, not just for supports. There was a time before this patch came out, and like mask farming just got so crazy good, and I guess last patch also, where and when Luna was pretty popular, Envy was sometimes going 4-staff first on Luna, and that would be like, instead of lifesteal, you get the HP regen from 4-staff, and that would be like, if you're against a Clockwork, instead of getting, lifesteal to farm, I'm going to get a 4-staff. And that's fucking cool. It's just like, it's a really good item. 4-staff is like probably my favorite item in Dota 2, and it's, I think, probably the best item pound for pound. And then you also get a Dragonlance in it, which, like, anyone who wants a Pike, they're probably pretty into Dragonlance, outside of, if I'm playing Jakiro and I have a 4-staff, and then my 6th slot is going to be turning into a Hurricane Pike, like, Jakiro probably doesn't care too much about his Dragonlance, but whatever, like, yeah, it's really good. And then you combine it with a Wraith Band. Like, to do that, all you have to do is disassemble your Aquila. If you buy an extra Null Talis or Wraith Band, that was probably unnecessary. Just don't do that, and then disassemble your Aquila to do it. But yeah, I would say so. I can't really think of anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. Okay. You got it. Good job.
They also asked, why is CM bad? And I feel like we need to answer this because...
Yeah, so CM's really fucking bad. Primarily because she's just fucking shit.
Would you like to expand on that, or?
She's not good to have on your team.
Because
I think she's good to go up against. Also,
I mean, I quite like CM.
Oh, me too. She's great, but she sucks. Like a lot.
But why? Because she's got a good aura. She's got the freezy thing. She's got the freezy blasty thing. All the freezy things.
Not all. Jakiro has one of the greater freezy things, may I say. Okay, so let's imagine a situation. I'm an offlaner. I could be literally any offlaner. It doesn't matter. I could even be not an offlaner. And you're playing a pub, and someone picks an anti-mage or anything really, and they don't want to get harassed by me, the offlaner, and you're Crystal Maiden, and you come up there and you press W and then you click me, and I take 150 damage, and then I continue to walk at you. What happens? What does CM do in that situation where 150 damage doesn't deter my entire existence? She just fucking dies. She can't secure a lane. The biggest issue with CM is that, that's number one, is that she can't secure a lane. So that's one way that CM is going to fail your team, is that she's not going to zone the enemy offlaner, and you don't have a good 4 to help her zone. Like, if you have a 4 Spirit Breaker that's like continually charging the offlaner, and they're both making life hell, that's fine. Or if you have a CM and a Monkey King, also that's okay. Like anything like a Monkey King or an Ursa or Clinks, it's Lifestealer, any safe laner that can kind of just 1v1 most off laners. That's like okay, but either way, that is an avenue for failure. If someone picks a CM and just like, whoops, we didn't pick a 4 that can also help zone, or we didn't pick a carry that can help zone. This pub is fucked now. Other issue, her disables come down to a slow, which can be dispelled by literally anything, and a frostbite, a root that can be dispelled also by literally everything. And also a lot of movement abilities can still be used. Like I think not Bristleback, the Pangolier can Q while he's frostbitten. There are a lot of things you can't use while rooted anymore, but there's a number of things. And then her aura is like, it's nice, but most heroes are self-sufficient on mana. Like there are very few heroes that's standard builds do not include the ability to be fine on mana. Outside of like Storm Spirit could always use more. Tinker really couldn't always use more regen. Like he just uses all of it and then goes to Fountain. Like there's not a lot of heroes where I'm like, oh, thank God I have a CM on my team, especially now in the age of Battle Fury. Like even if I'm Jug, I'm like, I have everything I need. Like please stop leveling your aura for like, I'm fine. Stop doing that. But like Storm could use it.
Yeah.
Invoker maybe. Like we have clarity potions. What do we need this shit for? Like please have another useful skill. That's that. Like you can avoid all of her CC. What does that mean? Well, that means that I'm once again dependent on my team to pick things around me.
I see.
Which is bad. And then also, like, what if you have to do anything? Your CM can't do it. She just throws like 2 spells and then she's worthless. Like, who has worse spells than Crystal Maiden? Like, whose spells are better than CM? Can you like name one hero that like, oh, this kit is worse than Crystal Maiden? It's hard, isn't it? It's difficult.
I mean, I'm trying to think, but
she can jungle also. But by the way, jungling gives you no gold anymore, and you need to be zoning the offlaner. You can't be just fucking jungling.
Yeah.
What does she do?
Okay.
And Freezing Field is the only thing that is redeeming about her is when you get a good Freezing Field off. And you only get a good Freezing Field off because people just discount any possibility you have at having an impact on the game. And then you sneak in somewhere and use Freezing Field and they're like, she's slightly useful. God damn it. I thought she was actually a hamper on the enemy team, but it hurt me a bit. And then you get blown out because like, oh man, Freezing Field's strong. We used all of our disables on creeps because we thought they were more dangerous.
That is so true.
But even then,
that is so true.
Yeah, like that's the only time.
Because whenever you get killed by like a CM, it's always because you underestimate what she could do. That is so true, actually. Okay.
Yeah, because you're like, no one had a stun for Freezing Field, really? And it was just like, no, why would I not use my stun on everyone else?
Yeah. All right.
So that's, I mean, there's like, I don't know. I was just playing a game with Skrunk once. We had, I guess 2 games back to back. We had Crystal Maidens on our team. And he was playing 4 and I was playing carry. And then just like every game, I'd be like, Skrunk, you need to come to save lane. And he's like, why? I was like, CM doesn't fucking do anything. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And then when another game, we have another CM and like our mid is getting ganked. And then CM TPs in, freezes someone for like 1 second. Then it ends and they just kill our mid. And we're like, thank you, Crystal Maiden. What a fucking great help you are in our team. And she doesn't do anything without her aura anyways, because her spells are so fucking expensive. So like you pick this hero who has 2 nukes that only are good in the early game when people can't get out of them. And then she also can't level them early because she doesn't have any fucking mana. So she has to get Arcane Aura. Like, what a fucking terrible situation this hero finds herself in every time she's picked. She does have the Colgate toothpaste hair though. And that's a really good cosmetic. My CM cosmetics, I think, are very good.
She has good hats. It's true.
And she has very good hats. What is that? The Snowdrop tassels. That is a solid ass cosmetic. I'm a very big fan of those. And the what is it? The guard of the Tundra Warden stuff. The stuff that's like all metal. That's cool as shit. And the Colgate toothpaste hair. Crown of the Blue Heart Sovereign. Love it. Good solid set. But yeah, like she sucks.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? She doesn't fucking,
I was kind of like on the edge until you were like saying about, you know, you always underestimate her. And then, you know, whenever she does kill you, you're like, oh. And it's so true. You always do. You're just like, what's she going to do?
Yeah, like that's
so true.
Yeah, like the only reason she's ever scary is because of how much you disrespect her. And that's not like, oh, she's good because she's deceptive. Like, no, if I decide to take your heroes seriously for a second, it's worthless. That's not a good thing. Like that's
Yeah.
And that's why CM sucks. There's another question, why does CM have a good win rate? And that answer is that anytime anyone picks CM, they are going to support you. Whereas a lot of times people will pick, like, pub win rates are pretty shit for identifying a number of things. Necrophos probably still has a good win rate. Necrophos is not good anymore. But it's a hero that's good in pubs. Similarly, CM is good because you never have a support in like pubs, especially like lower level pubs. Like the lower you go, CM probably has a better win rate. Actually, I mean, she does. That's a fact. And that's because if you have a CM in your game, you have a support. And that's, you know, you're DC well off. She also, she also does well like higher up. And that's because teams can like, you know, pick around her when they're competent. And she has this aura that's always going to give some amount of usage to her team. It's not good by any stretch, but she's also like not too difficult or whatever. So like if people just end up playing a CM or whatever, like they're going to kind of know what to do. Like you can't judge win rates for everything because there are a lot of heroes that have really bad win rates when they're good and a lot of heroes that have really good win rates even though they're pretty bad. Like Omni Knight has been the top win rate hero for a very long time, and it is not very often that he's actually like good in pubs. Underlord has had the best win rate in 5K plus on and off for like a year, and he's been the fucking laughing stock of like skilled players playing Dota 2, but in pubs he's good. So if you ask like, oh, is CM good? No. Should I be upset when I have a CM on my team in a pub? Like, depends on what your team looks like. It might turn out to be fine, but it's not going to feel fine until you win.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, she's shit. She's super fucking bad, and I would prefer to not have her on my team. But if my team picks around her, it can manage to be okay. And a really shitty player, if I give a really shitty player a Crystal Maiden, I'll get a baseline level of performance, which is acceptable. And whereas if they play a Dark Willow or something, who's a vastly superior hero, they might just fuck everything up. So if you're going to say, should I learn Crystal Maiden? No, don't waste your fucking time. I have no idea what I'm doing. What should I pick? Crystal Maiden, I guess. But it's still bad.
Okay.
All right, that's that.
So, like, aside from, like, Venge and Jakiro, what are your other favorite supports?
My personal favorites, Disruptor, I'm pretty competent at. Lion, I'm pretty competent at. I like Shadow Shaman. I'm just not very good at him. That or I've just had bad games. I play a fucking mean Shadow Demon. That used to be my best support. Shadow Demon. Oof.
Never played Shadow Demon in my life ever. He just, like, I just don't see him. You did when it was all about the kind of the Luna illusions thing. Yeah, like then it was in like every single game. But I mean, since then, I just don't see him in my bracket, I guess.
There was a period around like midway between TI2 and TI3 where the meta was just any support that could set up a stun and then like Lina or Leshrac or Mirana as the other support. And you would just have Shadow Demon like egg someone and then a Leshrac would stun underneath it. And you're just like, that's the combo. That's our support. We picked two heroes just to do that. And it was like, all right, I guess so. And whenever I stood in for teams, I got forced to play Shadow Demon a couple times, and then eventually I was like, this guy's cool. He's got a lot of weird ass abilities that do weird ass shit, so you feel really cool. It's like not straightforward at all. Yeah, he's cool. I like him. But another hero that's like, if you pick Shadow Demon and then your 4 is like a Treant Protector, grats, your team has no answer to anyone BKBing. I mean, yeah, you have Shadow Demon's ultimate, but that's not a disable. That's just a slow. Like, they're still going to kill you.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Actually, so you mentioned Leshrac for a second there. That's a hero I always forget that exists. Yeah. Honestly, like.
Yeah, with good reason.
Like he's
not great.
what happened there? Like what? Like
they took his lightning storm from doing damage to doing 50 damage at level 1, scaling up to 200, which is not a lot. It's really not. Like, his lightning used to be a lot of damage, and now it's just not. And they nerfed Bloodstone on him, and they made him less tanky. Kind of just literally everything about him has been made worse, except for maybe Diabolic Edict. And, like, his Split Earth also only does 225 damage. What a fucking disaster. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That's the radius. It still does 300. Okay, that's still fine. But yeah, the lightning doing almost no damage is one of the bigger things. Actually kind of curious what they did to that boy. I don't have push to talk on right now. That's why you hear those key clicks. Anyway, you can keep going. I'm going to look this up in the meanwhile.
So I think we have a couple of questions about like boots actually, and this might be a good topic to go on to. So
I wear boots myself. I'm an expert. I've seen you wear boots also. This should be easy for us.
Boots are great. Boots are great. But it's basically
yep.
Like when do you get, like, what type of boots do you get, and like what are the requirements? Wait, let me try and like ask this question that actually makes sense and is in like good English.
Okay.
So how do you know what boots you should be getting? Like, what are the requirements for? Because I mean, if you're not just going on, like, what makes you get a certain type of boots? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, we kind of outlined this a really long time ago on Proudland when we were doing that show. And I had like a list where you would like cross off things like the default boot. Let's think here. I want to kind of do this perfectly. I want to say, let's say we can break it up to cores and supports, but that's not super interesting. Let's say, okay, the default boot is mana boots. So let's say you want mana boots. That's what I said. I'm not saying most heroes want mana boots. I'm saying that's what you start with. If your hero has no way to get mana for their abilities or for their mana pool to be big enough to do anything without mana boots, like, there's no fucking way. Your build just necessitates there's nothing you can do without getting mana boots. There's no other item that you're ever going to get besides your boot item to fix your mana issues. Then you're going to get mana boots. And that applies to heroes like Rubik. Rubik needs a huge mana pool. Lion, I would say Lion needs mana boots. Sometimes you can't get them, but Lion does need mana boots. Just because you have a mana drain doesn't mean you don't need mana boots on that hero. I don't know, the other people that need mana boots. Oracle uses so many fucking spells that are so expensive. Shadow Shaman, same thing. And then like some other heroes that use a bunch of mana that don't need to go mana boots. It's like OD uses a bunch of mana, but his aura can get him back mana, so you don't need to worry about that. Let's see, what's another example? Wind Ranger uses a bunch of mana also, but she gets a talent later for some mana regen. And she doesn't need the mana at that point in the game. Like, it's, if she's level 6, she doesn't need to have infinite mana regen going, and she's gonna have enough gold to get items to get other things. So if you have a way to not need mana boots to still be able to play your hero, the next thing on your list is I think I'd say is phase boots. And if you need plus damage and you don't have a way to use your skill set without the move speed of phase boots, then you get those. If you need that move speed more than fucking anything else in the world, and the unit phasing and the and the plus, and you can utilize plus damage, then you stop there and get phase boots. If you don't need that, then you go on to power treads and you say, okay, you look at power treads and say, do I have a good use of stat manipulation? Do I need attack speed? Or am I very attribute based in some way? So I'd look at a hero like Sven. Sven doesn't need the move speed of phase boots, and also because he just fucking pops up in you and kills you. He's not entirely like he blinks. He's not entirely it's not entirely necessary to have move speed to fix Sven. He's okay in the move speed department. If he needs move speed, he can get, S and Y or whatever. He's just going to blink in front of you and kill you. Move speed doesn't fall into that equation. But he does use stats in a unique way through his God Strength, and he needs attack speed because that's a good right-clicking stat. So you go with that. But let me think of a hero that we haven't gotten there with yet. So let's say a hero like I'm trying to think of someone who goes. So let's say Lich. Lich doesn't need move speed. Lich is already relatively fast and he does everything from range. Lich doesn't need a bigger mana pool. He has sacrifice to get all his mana back, and his spells aren't wildly expensive. You're going to build a 4-staff anyway. It's fine. And he has no fucking use for attack speed, and he doesn't use attributes, interestingly, in any way besides, I turn my treads off of int, and then I sacrifice a creep, and then I turn them back to int woo efficiency. But if none of that's the case, there's nothing left. So if you have a use for health regen and you want some extra move speed, then you would go with the Tranquil Boots. And if you don't need any of those things, which is very rare, then you can just keep on Brown Boots. But I mean, that should kind of take care of almost every hero. There may be some exceptions, like you say, when I'm playing, I don't know, what's a decent example of this? When I'm playing Monkey King, I feel like I need the move speed. But why do you say treads is good? Because I feel like I need the treads. I'll say, well, you don't need the move speed, actually. There's ways that you can work around it, and having the attack speed, makes it okay or better than having the move speed in actuality. But that's kind of comparing the two side by side rather than not one, then I immediately go to the next. So there's a little bit of, decision making you have to kind of do for yourself. And you have to let's look at Sniper. Can I play Sniper without move speed? Or do I need the 24 damage? I would say, you need the 24 damage because he needs more damage. And I think you do need the move speed. Absolutely. Yes. Treads may be more DPS through a full calculation, but I think that you do need those two things that phase gets you to play Sniper. That's kind of the long and short of it. Also, if your team needs a pair of mana boots, you kind of judge it for yourself. But that takes care of it for the most part. If you need to have a big mana pool and you're not going to build mana regen items, you probably need mana boots. If you're really reliant upon your move speed and you could really use just some fucking flat damage, you don't really hurt for attack speed too badly, you're just mostly interested in moving and getting to people, then phase boots. If you can use attack speed or stat manipulation, treads are solid for you. And if you don't really need any of those, but you just need, health regen to roam around the map, then Tranquil Boots. And Slardar does that. Slardar doesn't need a huge mana pool. Yeah, he can use attack speed, but if you're playing a support Slardar, you're not going to get in the point where you're just fucking bashing their carry repeatedly. You're going to die. You're a sprint on. You're going to fucking die. But so you go, do I need the move speed and the HP regen? You're fuck yeah. Sprint is a percentage move speed modifier. Tranquils give me 80 move speed when they're unbroken. That's incredible value. And also, I want to be high on health because it's not like I'm going to be building fucking lifesteal on a Slardar support. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, so new guy has kind of a specific... he's talking about Weaver here. And he's saying when to go treads or phase on it. I mean, I guess you kind of answered that broadly, but if you were to give advice on a Weaver-specific scenario...
never go either.
Okay.
Most people just don't get boots on Weaver now,
really?
And I resisted that trend for a very long time. Yeah, because he has a set move speed when he uses Sakuchi. When you use Sakuchi, you get set to max move speed, whether you have boots or not. So the way a lot of people play Weaver is if they're just spamming Sakuchi to move around, and if 90% of the time that you're moving is in Sakuchi, your boots are only 10% value. Whereas if you're shadow blading around somewhere, your boot speed is being modified by the shadow blade. If you're blinking around somewhere, your movements in between the blinks are still relevant, and blink has a pretty long cooldown. But Sakuchi is a 4-second duration and a 2-second cooldown. So in theory, when you're moving around, you're only getting 30 or 1/3 use out of your boots. And early game, I'd rather just be getting having a finished Aquila and having a finished wand and getting a clarity sent out and be getting a Blightstone and starting my getting my health regen item for my Lincoln Sphere or something like that. I'd rather be getting those things than stepping back for 400 gold on a 30% relevance boot. There's pretty much no situation where you want an item that's only going to be relevant 30% of the time. So a lot of people just don't do boots at all in Weaver. You could do treads if you really, really, really needed to beef up a little bit. But if you look at Weaver, does he use attack speed well? No, Geminate attack is cooldown dependent. You get as many Geminate attacks as the cooldown does. Your attack speed has pretty much nothing to do with it. So his attack steroid has nothing to do with your attack speed. Does he need phase boots? Well, the plus damage is nice, but he has absolutely no fucking use for the phase active, or because his Sakuchi phases for you. And then the speed, again, Sakuchi puts you at max speed. So the active on phase boots is completely worthless. So you're just spending a bunch of gold for 24 damage. And like, I would much rather put that towards my Desolator than that if you are deciding to go Desolator. Or I'd rather put that towards my Diffusal. Whatever, fuck you.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. I never would have thought. I'm not really a Weaver player, but I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I hated it for a long time, but that's what the trend is.
Unicorn is everyone's premier esports outlet. Unicorn has completely... I completely forgot.
What?
I completely forgot to say our second sponsor is Unicorn.
Well, that's fine.
Rather than just launching into it.
Nah, just go for it.
So,
you're good.
Unicorn has completely legal and free-to-play esports betting everywhere, as well as real money betting if you live in the UK or Australia. You can
That's
earn...
you.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking maybe I should...
I'll give you some money and you can bet for me.
Well, you're doing that segment on Theorycraft Thursday where you kind of talk about. So maybe I should actually put some money on that.
I'm
now.
1-2 right now. Ursi's 2-1, so we'll see. I need to get my groove back before we go for it.
We'll see how your track record improves, and then maybe I'll put some real money down.
Okay.
So I
like to be responsible.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to bet real money, you can earn betting tokens as well as Unicorn Gold to use on cosmetic item raffles just by playing your favorite games. In addition to esports betting, Unicorn has plenty of other stellar Dota 2 content, including articles, pro meta analysis, guides to new patches when they go live, and common esports interest pieces from folks like Gorgon and many others. Unicorn also has their new Unicorn Connect, that's CONNEKT service, where you can earn Unicorn Gold just by playing Dota 2, CSGO, or LOL, and trading gold for chances to win cosmetic items from those games at no extra cost to you. You can find Unicorn at unicorn.com and more info on Connect at unicorn.com/connect. That's Unicorn, UNIKRN, and Connect at CONNEKT. I mean, great. That one went better than the first one.
Yeah,
the first
better.
one, yeah, that one went a lot better. Boots, the new guy is also asking, can you explain treads on supports?
If you have a support and your team doesn't need a pair of mana boots, and the support has enough HP regen on their own that they have absolutely no usage for phase, and move speed isn't a big issue, so they have no usage for phase, and they expect to be right-clicking to some degree, and they just need a bunch of health. That's all I could really say. The only supports I would ever really... I just said really say twice. The only supports I could think that would use treads are like Silencer, because obviously Silencer's going to right-click. Yeah. That's kind of baked into the boy. Enchantress, if you view her as a support and not like a core that plays a support role, because she right-clicks also. I've seen witch doctors do it. I don't know why that they do. I don't think I'd really think of much else. Like Venge maybe, but more often than not on Venge, I'd rather just go brown boots than treads. Like I'd get a 4-staff. Like I need a 4-staff, not treads, or medallion or whatever.
What boots do you build on Venge? Do you go?
I go mana boots sometimes, tranquil boots sometimes, brown boots sometimes. I just judge the game. If my team needs mana, or I'm doing really well early game and I'm just running around spamming magic missile, I'll build mana boots. If I'm destitute and am not ever going to be able to afford my ring of health for my thing, I'll get tranquils. I mean, pretty often I have a Windlace anyways, so it's just the Ring of Regen to, get it. Like, instead of shipping myself out a salve, I'll ship a Ring of Regen, and bam, I got Tranquil Boots for the rest of the game. Yeah, so pretty much that. If I don't need either, I'll just go Brown Boots, but that's, I just judge the game.
Okay. Yeah, because I used to, for a long time, I was building Venge with just mana boots. Like, I wouldn't even consider anything else, but that was more to do with my, I wasn't very well, I used to spam my spells a lot.
Yeah.
And, she doesn't have a massive mana pool really in relation to her spells. So I used to build mana boots just because, like, I wasn't very good at picking the moment when to use stuff. So it was kind of wasteful and not needed all the time.
Mana boots when you're like kind of new to the game just looks like I have infinite mana now. So, why not? But yeah, like if you don't go mana boots, then you need to get like the Sage's Mask for Medallion immediately, or you're just fucking miserable the entire time. Like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, mana boots is really good on support Venge. It's not ideal, and it doesn't really take advantage of a lot of her aspects, but your 5 is almost always going to be a big relief if your 5 has mana boots for like everyone else on your team. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about Battle Fury for a second earlier. That seems to be really popular now.
Yeah, the BF.
So
big boyfriend.
What heroes are you building Battle Fury on now?
Literally all of them.
Like all of them.
Like every single. I mean, Phantom Assassin, it's good for. Juggernaut, it's good for. Anti-Mage, of course, it's good for. A lot of people like it on Troll Warlord right now. Maybe not a lot, but there's at least 10% of the people in the guides section on Dota Buff, like the people who are actively playing Troll and, like winning a stomp and getting it logged, that are building Battle Fury on Troll, which is cool. What are some other, like, relatively new Battle Fury builder heroes? Like, PA is kind of fresh. Faceless Void also, people are getting into Battle Fury again on that boy. I think I saw one person do it on Wraith King, but I don't know about that shit. I don't know about that. I think that's kind of it. Oh, Monkey King, of course. Classic Monkey King Battle Fury. We gotta let it be known.
So good.
I've seen it on Slark. I don't fucking know, but it's a good item and I've seen it there. So that's just what it is. I think that's it.
Okay.
That's pretty much all the melee carriers, except for Terrorblade, who's a ranged carry anyways.
Why are you against Battle Fury on a Wraith King?
Because it doesn't take advantage of any aspect of that hero, I think. He jungles fast enough with Mortal Strike. Like, you have an ability that just makes things go away. And this hero's ability, this hero's strength is kind of more in his ability to take fights. And even if you do get a Battle Fury, you are not mobile enough to make full use of it. Battle Fury is cool because it makes the, when you think about what's limiting your farming when you get into a game, like let's say you're a melee creep, you get into a game. What's limiting the way that you farm? Probably the speed in which you kill a camp, right? Like a melee creep can get to a camp pretty quickly, compared to some other hero, but you're not even gonna kill it. Like it'll kill you first. So the issue is your output of damage. So once you have enough output of damage, the barrier between you and how much farm you're gonna get is going to be how quickly you can move in between camps. Like, that's why Anti-Mage is cool. Battle Fury lets him kill camps instantly, and Blink lets him get to other camps instantly. So that's why he's, like, the fastest farmer once he's got those two items up. But an equivalent hero like PA does probably more damage than Anti-Mage at that point. Luna also more damage than Anti-Mage. Probably, well, maybe not Luna, but, like, PA with the Battle Fury should kill camps at about the same speed as Anti-Mage. But if she doesn't see the camps she's trying to get to blink around, she's going to farm way slower. Wraith King, he kills them at, whatever fine rate, but then he's slow. He can't get to the next camp that fast. Like, he can farm, like jungle waves or whatever, but, that's kind of whatever. And then you get to, think, what does Wraith King need to fight? Well, he needs an armlet. Armlet's just a great Wraith King item. And if you get a Battle Fury, you're not having an armlet timing. Like, imagine how insignificant a lifestealer would be if they didn't have their armlet and start fighting you until like 20 minutes. I'd be like, okay, you just didn't do shit on a lifestealer for 20 minutes, and now having a BKB built into your hero isn't incredibly shocking, and you don't one-shot everyone. That's like, well, whatever. And that's kind of similar to Wraith King. Like with Wraith King, you want to have an armlet and you just want to like get a Wraith Fire Blast on someone and walk up to them and beat the shit out of them and then die, and then they can't get away from you, and then you keep beating the shit out of them. But if you spend your time going for a Battle Fury and farming up, like, I don't know, if you wanted to do that, there are way better heroes to do that on. And it's very rare that you're going to find yourself in a situation where the answer is I need to farm my way out of it with a Wraith King, and the only way to do it fast enough is with like a Battle Fury or something. If you really want AoE on a Wraith King, just go like a Maelstrom or something, because then you can only shield yourself when you jump in. I mean, and that's like actually a pretty good Wraith King item, especially now that Deso sucks. Yeah,
Deso sucks.
Yeah, Deso sucks on everyone.
On Wraith King or just in general?
Just everyone.
Okay.
I mean, people
why?
still get it, but it's fucking sucks.
But why? What, just because? Yeah, wait, I don't.
The entire redoing of the way armor works hurt every minus armor item, and also they took one minus armor off of it. So it used to give -7 armor, now it's 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also changed armor to each point of armor is slightly less damage reduction. So like if and that makes minus armor less good. So if let's say 7 armor gave me 30% damage reduction, then then 7 armor reduction would give me like, you know, it's not 30, it's like 38, 41 or something, like some number like 40% more damage done. I'm just going to say that arbitrarily. Okay. But if 7 armor only gives me 20% damage reduction, losing that 7 or like reducing that 7 armor only makes me do like, you know, 32% more damage or something like that. So I lost about 10% of the value of my Desolator because each point of armor is now worth less. But to compensate the armor being less, agility gives you more armor than it used to. So people's armor numbers are roughly the same, but each point that you reduce is doing less for you. Or rather, the amount of damage that people are the amount of damage that people are reducing with their armor is roughly the same, but each point of armor is contributing less to it. So like people used to have, let's say, 20 armor. People who had 20 armor before now have 25. Each armor point is worth less, but they have more armor to compensate. But since each armor point is worth less, each point you're reducing is also worth less. And not only that, but Deso also reduces by 1 less. It's just everything is worse about it now. It sucks. I don't build it anymore. It's my favorite item, and I'm not interested in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it sucks.
So what are you building instead on like Desolator kind of on heroes you would build Desolator on? What are you getting instead of that? Or are you just kind of getting something else that's...
Yeah, I just get something. I just get a different thing. Like PA, you still get it because it's too good on her. Templar Assassin, you still get it because it's too good on her. But
okay,
like on Clinks, I'm way more married to the Medallion Orchid build than the Deso builds. I'll do Medallion Orchid every game on Clinks now. Not that it's that great right now, but yeah.
Right. I see. So if it was kind of like critical to the hero, then you're keeping it. But if it wasn't, if it was kind of optional,
but
or like was
even
okay,
if you look at PA, like PA switched to Battle Fury Deso. Even in games where I am like just trying to kill people, I'll still go Battle Fury Deso. And that's like Battle Fury gives me more damage to work with to compensate for the minus armor being less. I used to really like Deso on Lycan. I always go Necrobook now on Lycan. I don't fuck with any of the Deso stuff I used to do anymore. Yeah, same thing with Wraith King. I used to really like the minus armor build of like Armlet Blink Deso AC and, you know, a BKB somewhere in there. And that you would just like strip the fuck out of them. But I don't really do that anymore. Lifestealer, you kind of still have to go Deso because minus armor is the only way that you amplify Feast's damage, whether you like that or not. And it's just, you know, it's really good. Lifestealer wants that tempo where you're just like, I don't know, like scrounging someone off the fucking face of the earth every time you slap them. And Desolator is that kind of oppressive, like I'm far ahead and every hit that I do is going to like get big red numbers to pop up. And Deso still kind of does that, but the point when it stops doing that comes a lot faster. And that's why Deso fucking sucks.
All right then.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So something I've noticed recently, especially like I feel like yesterday and today, like just so many techies players.
That sucks for you.
Like loads. I swear, like nearly in every game. I mean, maybe I'm over exaggerating and it just feels like that. But
wait, was that your hour and 30-minute game? Did that have a techies in it?
Probably. I mean,
it
would explain the
troll.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about that game.
There wasn't. There were no
it's too painful. But there wasn't. Okay.
No.
Okay. The less we say about that game, the better. But so high grounding is kind of tough anyway. How do you high ground against a techies?
Very carefully.
Do you have any advice for this?
Do it with an Aegis always. Only let one person be hitting the building at a time. Don't do it unless you're gonna do it. Don't do it unless, like, you're fucking ready, you know? Like, don't force it. And if you do, the answer is to always, like, if you kill a tier 2, immediately high ground that tier 3 if you have a chance at it, because that is not going to get bombed up. If you look like you're really hard pushing one lane, wait for the creeps to, like, get there to the backdoor protection is down, and then rotate to take mid. Or whatever lane they probably don't have, protected. Like, if nonstop you've been pushing bottom lane and, like, the techies is going to be, like, focusing on bombing that, then just make sure your top lane is pushing out too, and then just, like, all of a sudden, just run top lane. And techies is going to be like, fuck, I didn't bomb that one. But yeah, just keep your lanes pushed and try to do that. That's really the only advice I got for you. Techies is a piece of shit.
Yeah, really,
you're against
really
the techies, build a Dragon Lance and just try for your best. Someone's going to force staff you forward at some point, and you're going to be like, well, there's no way I could have just had my BKB on that entire fucking time. There was one game we were against the techies, and this was before Ancients didn't have magic immunity anymore, and I was playing Lifestealer, and I just infested in an Ancient Dragon, and our entire strat was just I would siege against the techies with random Ancients because he couldn't blow them up because they didn't take magic damage. And
that's so good.
It took so fucking long, but it worked. It was dumb as hell.
Oh, man. That should be brought back just as if there's a techies on your team, on the opposite team.
Yeah, it was very cool, and it was very difficult to, like, get my entire team to just be like, just wait like 3 minutes for this fucking dragon ancient creep to finish chewing through this tower. Because I was doing like 30 damage a hit. It was just not fun for anyone involved.
God. That's so funny. Yeah, techies just like it just really sucks because like you think that the game's going okay and then it's time to push high ground and then you lose. I think it was 2 games today that I lost to it, so I'm probably feeling more salty than I usually would about it. But
I mean, techies is the most obnoxious fucking thing in the game. Like, I'm not kidding when I say it's really bad for the game that techies is in it. Like, it's honestly really bad for the game, and I'm not joking, and I really think it's a problem.
Yeah, so you're voting for it to be removed.
Yeah, honestly, yes. Like, some people would get pissed. I mean, I'd prefer if it was just never introduced, and then people wouldn't get mad that it's gone, but like, the person that I started playing Dota with, when I got them to, try the game again, they never played again because they got a really bad techies game. And they're like, why would I ever come back to this? And I was like, yeah, why would you, honestly? I'm sorry, that game fucking sucked. Yeah, it was just awful.
Yeah.
It's some shit, man.
They are the worst.
Like, literally, I know for a fact people have quit the game because of this hero.
Damn.
Like, Tinker already does that, Like, we don't need techies too. They're right next to each other. It's, like, fucked up.
Tinker is just so frustrating.
Yeah, but, I mean, at least, like, you can kill him, and while he's dead, it's not frustrating.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Whereas that fucking, anyway.
Actually, talking about irritating heroes, I find Morphling incredibly irritating to deal with.
Well, he can't morph anymore, so it's fine. He's fine now.
But he just doesn't, he does die, but he's difficult to make die.
Yeah.
Right?
The change from last patch kind of destroyed him, though. Like, it made it so that the reason that he was so hard to kill was that he could morph stats even when he was stunned. So there was like a whole class of disables that normally just kills every carry and stops him from using defensive abilities that he just doesn't give a shit about because he just, you know, morphs his strength during it.
Yeah.
But now he can't do that anymore. So it's, you know, it's whatever. It's fine.
But he still just seems so difficult to kill. Like
just
have issues.
He's probably less so, but yeah, I mean, he's tough to kill.
He's not. I mean, he's not as bad as he was, but I think I've had a couple of problem games with him recently, and I just. Yeah, I don't know. How do you deal with a morphling?
Just pressure him, I guess, and you need to just build tanky on everyone. Like, don't let yourself get popped. You know, like if you're playing a support, like whatever options you have on items to build, try to get a tankier item in there. You know, like just like if you're let's say your option. One of your options to get is I don't know. Let's say you're playing Lion and you've already got Blink Dagger, and your next option is you're like, I'm gonna buy a Force. Instead, maybe either buy a Glimmer Cape or an Ags or something, because that'll make you live through his burst combo and also be a good item. Whereas a Force Staff, like unless you're against like a Clockwork, like Force Staff's nice, but you already got your Blink. And you just need to not get fucking popped at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just buy an Ogre Club. Buy a BKB. BKBs are so fucking good. Just buy a BKB.
On supports? I guess, like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Why not? I don't know. I mean, there's other things to buy for sure, but, I mean, I buy BKB almost every game on Doom, and most offlaners don't buy BKBs, but holy shit does it make a big deal when, like, So the thing with BKB is a BKB means that that you need to be dealt with directly. Most of the time when you're playing like a Lion or something and an Invoker combos, you die on the edge of the combo. The Invoker didn't even need to fucking like look at you or spare you any thought. Once you have a BKB, the only way you are dying is if their carry or right-click focused mid like looks you in the face and decides to devote their time to you. And if they're doing that, then they're not devoting their time to anything else, and then your carries are going to kill their supports. Yeah, and your carries are going to do it within 2 seconds. Or your mid is just going to kill them through fucking, you know, background radiation of the team fight. Yeah, I just really like BKB, honestly. Like, people say BKB is not a fun item. Like, dude, if I'm playing a fucking, like, hero that dies quickly to, you know, the wind, and then I'm just, like, a BKB boy, and they have to focus on me, like, that's great. Holy shit, I made so much space in that team fight. Like, it's like fucking you make God stare you in the eye before you die. So you fucking... it was a strong message you sent.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I'd much rather go BKB than not dying as quickly as just, like, being blown up. Actually... It's
a fun item.
Talking about irritating heroes, I got completely, like, destroyed by a Chen, like this has happened like twice recently, and I'm like, what's happening here? Like, I have no idea how Chen works, but it just seems to like blow you up, and then you're like, wait, what? Like, what's just happened?
It's distressing early game for sure. Yeah. I'm testing a question that's coming later.
Okay.
And it works. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know, honestly. Like, you need to have heroes that do damage to creeps. Like, you need to have AoE damage on your team. That's for certain.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't like. There's not really a big answer. Like, you just need to weather the storm, honestly, and just like if he's dominating one of your lanes, just like leave. And try to kill his creeps. Like, make it so he has to spend time going back in the jungle taking creeps, and then his carries can't farm those creeps, and that's good stuff. So, like, any fight, don't just view killing Chen as the only thing you're trying to do. Like, killing 3 creeps is about as worthwhile as killing Chen in the long run, especially early game. So, like when I was playing in Season 3 Arena of World of Warcraft, the answer to playing warrior versus a hunter, and you just got fucking kited endlessly, was you just always had to be getting your fucking auto attacks out. Even if you're just hitting the hunter's pet, you need to be getting right clicks out the entire fucking time. Or auto attacks and WoW. And the same things here. Like, as long as you're just making damage happen, that's like good value. Just like get as much shit out as you can. When I was playing against a Chen earlier, We had a Skywrath with us, and he would just like only throw like his Q on the Chen and then just like back up and then not do anything. I'm like, dude, there's creeps. Like, fucking, it's at half health. Just help. If you get it down to a quarter health, our carry will kill it. They will notice that it's low, and then they'll kill it. But just get the damage out on them.
Okay.
And like, if you're playing Jakiro, like, just shoot your Q out on all the creeps. Now it's harder for Chen to do shit. Yeah. So just don't view the creeps as something to play around. Because if you just like walk at Chen through his 5 creeps, you're gonna die. Just think about any time you've been mobbed by a stack, and you're like, shit, that fucking hurts. And like that's Chen. True. You can't ignore the stack that he's like giving you. Gotta eat it. True. Yes. Okay. That's good Chen, advice. I guess. Just weather the storm. Yeah. He falls off.
Okay. What was the question that you were?
Oh, the Doom
testing
one with
out. The Doom. Oh, this one.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to talk about that now?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. So Captain Insanio from YouTube says, wait, if Doom takes 100% cleave talent and eats a black dragon, you're doing 200% damage in a 50 AoE that ignores armor. What?
Yeah, so when I did it, so this creep lost 390 health, and this Alpha Wolf lost 175. So yeah, that was a major difference in the damage that it did. That certainly does work. However, of course, there's no way this is viable in any way, but it is fun to think about. Because you're not gonna take that talent, believe it or not. You're gonna get 3% Infernal Blade damage, and you're never going to be. If an important team fight comes and it just so happens that there is a unit 50 units away from the thing that you are killing, then I guess that'll work out for you. But that's not exactly something to build around.
Actually,
but it is good. So especially like, you get that Alpha Wolf, you get a crit. Oh my goodness.
So it says there's a 100% cleave talent, right? Like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, 100% cleave means if Sven had a talent, or if Sven's Great Cleave kept scaling up to 100%. So that means 100% of. So when you right click. The entirety of your right click is also Delta's cleave damage around whatever you right clicked. And cleave is unique in that cleave is basically pure damage. It's classified as, it has the tag of being physical. So like if you're Ghost Sceptering, you won't take damage from it. But it's damage that is unmitigated by armor, which is why you can like get cleaved for insane amounts and like not get hit too hard by auto attacks. Like if I'm Sven against an axe that just pressed Q and gained 40 armor, if I right click a creep next to the axe, I'll probably end up doing more damage than just hitting the axe itself. That's a kind of weird thing, and that's one of the reasons why Ember Spirit would do such insane damage with his Sleight of Fist. Because if he gets a few cleaves around, they're all bypassing armor, and it's good stuff. So 100% cleave is cool in that as long as whatever you're hitting has any amount of armor at all, or rather anything that you want to die has any amount of armor, the cleave is going to do more damage than just right-clicking them. So it's guaranteed a steroid on your damage if you're hitting other things. And then if you add more damage onto that, so like if this Black Dragon's whatever percent cleave, I just actually ate a different creep, which I forgot that would remove that. Whatever it is, that stacks on. So like let's say it's 150% or what the fuck ever. Now whatever I right-click, everything around what I right-clicked is actually going to take 250% of my right-click damage. So if I have a right-click of 200 and then I right-click a creep right next to a hero, that hero is then going to take like 500 damage instead of the 200 of my right-click. Which is cool, but it takes a lot of investment to build around your cleave doing extra shit, and like what if you just made your auto-attack good?
Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough. So, I mean, whilst it's cool that you would never do that in a real game.
And it's very interesting. And if there's some weird custom game that comes out where you need to find a way to kill something with a bunch of armor, maybe this will come in handy.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, maybe the next part of Tidebreaker or whatever, Siltbreaker, who knows?
Yeah. All right.
I keep right-clicking with this because it's pretty fun, but I need to get out of this.
Should we do some more questions?
I mean, if you have anything you want to get to yourself, it's not too bad to leave questions for that Ursinity character. But I don't know what you have prepared / pre-planned.
I mean, that was kind of I was going to talk about smoke ganks, maybe.
Okay, I like those.
And kind of like...
I'm fucking bad at smoke ganks, actually. So
really?
That'd be a good
maybe
topic.
This is not...
Oh, no, it's fun. Like, I do them a lot. Like, my weakest part in captaining was a lot of my smoke ganks did not go to good areas to smoke gank. So I know a lot about how not to smoke gank. Or at least I have a lot of first-hand experience on how to fuck up smoke ganks.
Okay. Well,
I think a lot about smoke ganks, so I'll at least say that.
Okay, so what would you say what not to do going for a smoke gank?
I would not smoke gank if you have no fucking idea where they are. If you have seen very recently where people are and they're going to have very obvious trajectories on where they're going to be, then you can smoke gank. Like let's say a dire phantom assassin just killed a wave, kind of like where the river sits on bottom, like kind of near, like let's say they killed a wave near Radiant's safe lane side shop.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And then the minute mark just turned. That PA is going to run back to her jungle and then farm the ancient and then farm the medium camp and then the hard camp and then go on somewhere else. Maybe go back to that lane or something like that. So then that's a great time to like, okay, let's smoke and then walk around behind where this PA is. So take the same path the PA did and then find her and kill her. And we probably have about 40 seconds before she walks back there and finishes all this shit. A bad smoke gank would be there's no one on the map. I don't know what to do. Let's just smoke gank and see if we can find something. And that's super shitty. Yes.
I mean, so like if we're saying that there's no deep wards, you can't see anyone, you haven't seen anyone really for a little while, and you don't have a scan available either. And but if you're ready to fight, is it worth, or would you just say no, it is not worth it, just wait until you get some more information? Like, is it worth a go or not?
Yeah, so there's a few more factors I guess you need to put into it. Like number one is, where are your lanes? If your lanes are very pushed in into your side, then instead of smoking, you should push your lanes out very carefully by sitting behind people. Because if you don't see anyone on the map and your lanes are pushed in, you're kind of in danger if you have no idea where they are, because they might just gank whoever is taking your lanes out. Because if I was smoke ganking and my lanes were pushed out, I would gank whoever came to deal with those lanes. So like if you are ready to fight, then just sit behind your carry or whoever while they push your lanes out. And if your lanes are pushed in, then you need to take stock, because if one of your lanes is incredibly pushed in, then they're going to push it back, but they're going to be right next to their base, so it's not great to gank them. If it's pushed in about to where one of their shrines are, then it's a not great gank unless you can get it done in like a second. Like if it's like a mid Skywrath there, yeah, fucking gank them. But if it's a Dragonite with a BKB, that's probably not a good gank, because they're going to survive for 25 seconds and then TPs are going to come in. But yeah, if you can't see shit, you need to look at your lanes and you say like, okay, which lane are they most likely to push out that will not be super dangerous to us? And one of the better places to go, in my experience, is smoking whatever lane is their off lane. Because this is something I kind of talked about once or twice, but it's important to understand what territory your team actually controls in any given game. Right. And a good way to do that is to kind of draw a perimeter outside of all of the most outer towers on each lane that you have. And also your shrine, more or less, because the shrine is also kind of some of the territory you own. And wards kind of can factor into that. But as soon as you lose a safe lane tower, your territory in your safe lane is constricted to pretty much just in front of your, like the tier 2 towers on your safe lane are not that far in front of your base. That's not a lot of space to work with. Whereas the tier 2 towers on your off lane are like pretty far up, and then they also have a shrine really close to them, so they're very defensible. So safe lanes are really not that safe. And then if you look at where the jungle in the safe lane is, like there's so many high grounds near that you can just get fucking killed from. But the off-lane jungle, everything's kind of all tucked in one area, and most of it is like on a, like people have to walk up into high ground to get there and all that shit. It's not just like I casually walk in and fucking kill you. So the off-lane is like actually your territory. Once you get past 13 minutes, your territory consists of your off-lane jungle and then the 2 camps that are like relatively close to your like bottom tier 2.
Yeah.
Or your safe lane tier 2 rather. And the area in front of your mid. Like that's your stuff. So like most of Radiant's territory is the left and top part of the map. Most of Dire's territory is the right and bottom part of the map. Your safe lane is actually not your safe lane. You don't own your safe lane. You own your off lane.
Yeah.
And that's part of why Radiant was really good last patch, because Radiant owned Roshan, because their off lane was close to Roshan. And Dire's off lane was not close to Roshan. So Radiant was the Dire team of like a patch ago. I think it still is, even with the changes. But yeah, it's weird shit like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so normally ganking that, like smoke ganking that area is good. Not smoke ganking, like if you're going to gank without smokes, ganking their safe lane is better. And yeah, obviously, like it's kind of bad to smoke without a scan, because if you don't see any heroes on the map, you want to scan one of their jungles, and if you don't get anyone there, then you're like, okay, we'll gank the other jungle, or they might be smoking themselves, and like you need to cross one of those off of your checklist. But yeah. Yeah, that's smoking. I think because the main thing that I used to not do is, this was before these changes and realizations were being had, like before 7.0. But now it's a bit more it's a bit more like, yes, this is most likely where they're going to be, and this is where you should kind of smoke. But yeah, I mostly think the best place to smoke is the enemy's offlane jungle. There's always like 2 heroes trying to fight for farm in there. Yeah,
that's a really good idea, because I would say whenever I go and smoke and I'm not 100% sure on where they are, we just tend to kind of wander around and then go, oh no one's here. And actually that's so true. Like when you go to that off lane kind of jungly section, you do find people there more often than you do.
Yeah. And also if it's a 50-50 split, like the safe lane jungle is big. And there's a lot of like up and down territories. Like how many times in the Dire safe lane jungle have you like walked uphill to their ancients? That happens just so much. You don't like circle around all the time because you're just trying to get there. And then if they were there, like they saw you and your smoke broke on high ground, and that fucking sucks. But the offlane jungle, like if you go in from like the lane entrance to it, like if you were the enemy team like walking up into there, you kind of like you've got good positioning the whole time. So that's where I would smoke when you can.
Actually, that is so true. I mean. I don't think I've done it. Well, I probably have actually, but just as you were saying, like walking up to that Dire ancient on the safe side, and your smoke breaks as you're going up the stairs because someone's there, and they're all there, and then we're like, oh, what happened? Like,
you're in this little choke, and everyone dies.
We're supposed to win. Oh no, and that's so true. Oh man,
it's some shit.
Yeah. All right. I think gonna close it out. Do you have anything you want to add? Yeah.
Probably been at time, huh?
I was gonna say, because it's Christmas.
Yeah, very much so.
Because it's Christmas Day. I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite IC hero?
Ooh. I guess I'd have to say Jakiro. That's relatively boring, but what are my other options? There's Wyvern, who I do also really like.
Yes,
AA,
Wyvern.
who I don't really care for. CM, we established.
Yeah, she's not on the list.
I love her, don't get me wrong, but she fucking sucks. Morphling with the Scotty cosmetics that I use.
Oh, okay.
But not really.
Tusk counts.
Tusk,
Lich,
sure. Not a big Tusk fan. Lich is okay, but I'm like, can we have a stun, please? Can we just have had a stun?
Does Drow count? Does she count as kind of icy? She has like frost arrows.
I think so. It might be Drow then, because Drow was a hero that when I play her, I like exclusively play her, and I like fucking love her to death, and then I stopped playing her. But yeah, Drow was like the hero that I did most of my 5K climb on. I just like was very meticulous about every game that I played on Drow. It was great.
Yeah, she is super strong. She's good.
Yeah.
I think my favorite icy hero is Lich. I don't know. I like him. I think I guess I don't know. He has kind of, I don't know. He's nice. He's just like a very comfortable hero. This kind of the hero.
Say, he's cozy, and like his voice lines are also like, they're like welcoming. Like he's like not scary, but he's not like like a fucking like kind dude. He's that kind of like he's definitely spooky, not scary.
Yeah.
With that little camp tour, like, oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Like,
the worst. Yeah. He has some. Yeah, he has some bad lines, but I would say like Lich is probably. I would wonder if this is true, but most people I speak to, Lich is often the first hero people learn Dota on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think he's kind of just like he's just got a nice kind of presence about him. It just, I don't know. You're never kind of stuck when you play a Lich. To me. So
yeah, you can always sacrifice creeps.
Yes, true.
Yeah, whereas like Ancient Apparition is like the scary Lich. Like I don't want this guy. I just want Lich. I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah, honestly.
Look at him. He's spooky and his abilities are weird. And then there's Lich who's just like, have more mana.
Yeah.
Hurt someone. Bouncy time. Like that's much easier.
It's so true. Okay.
But look at AA. Like, what is this shit? It's like, don't let him move, but I'm not going to help you not let him move up. You can place a tiny thing, and sometimes people are slow and they take percentage damage. Here's Chilling Touch.
Yeah.
It does more damage, and then I don't like, there's a lot of numbers here. They're difficult. And Ice Blast? Look at that text. I'm not fucking with that. If I'm new to this game, I'm like, launch is a tracer. What is a tracer? Toward any location on the battlefield, which must be triggered. How do I trigger it? Again, to mark the area. Why do I want to mark it? Okay, then it's going to be blasted by my tracer in a damaging explosion of hail. Why is it important that it's hail? Anyway, the further the tracer travels, I still don't really know what my tracer is, the larger their explosion will be. Like, okay. Enemies caught, okay, there are enemies in this game, caught in the explosion or who touch the icy ball of hail. There's an icy ball of hail now. As it travels to my tracer, I think, as they are frostbitten. When am I getting them frostbitten? I don't have no idea. Taking damage and prevented from regenerating or healing. What's the difference? If a frostbitten unit's health drops below a certain percentage, they will instantly shatter. What does shattering mean? And then there's just a bunch of numbers. Frostbitten duration, damage per second, shatter health threshold, scepter frostbitten duration, damage, cooldown. Like, what the fuck is my scepter frostbitten duration? What does that mean? What is shattering? What is frostbitten? I don't fucking get any of this shit. And then there's Lich. Like, what does Lich's ability say? I want to look on this. Where's Lich? There he is, L.
It's going to be like 2 lines.
It releases an orb of frost that bounces between units up to 10 times, slowing and damaging each time it hits. Understandable.
Yeah, easy.
There was nothing confusing about that. It's just damage per bounce, number of bounces, the range of the bounces, how much it slows, how long the slow is, the damage. Great. Yeah. Understood. Fuck, that is such a difference. That is like, why do you need to tell me it's hail? I'm fine. I didn't need to know that.
Yeah.
Why do you have to say shatter? Just say dies.
It's he's a very confused. I still don't fully understand exactly what he does and how he works. Like I remember a while ago I was kind of dabbling with playing him, but then I just couldn't be bothered to read all the shit, honestly. Like I was just like, I just don't know. And I feel like there's other supports that seem to be more effective. I'm not sure. So I just kind of gave up on it. And I don't regret it.
He's like Shadow Demon, only you can tell what Shadow Demon is doing after you use the skills. Whereas AA is like, I don't fucking know, dude. Yeah. Like, I made all of my friends do more damage with their auto attacks, and they have slows on them, but I don't know if it was the right time. They didn't get many auto attacks off. Was it worthless? Did I waste my mana? I placed my Ice Vortex. Could I have placed it better? I don't know. Was it supposed to not do anything? I'm just not sure. Yeah. It's a weird hero. Yeah. You don't have to play him. It's okay.
No, I'm not going to bother.
Unless Auk is meta, then you're no, you don't even need him anymore. You buy that item, the Urn upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
It reduces healing.
Yeah.
Yes. No reason to learn this guy anymore. He's a very good support, honestly. But yeah, no, fuck him. He's worthless.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe sometime in the future, but not now.
Yeah, some far off distant thing we never have to worry about.
All right, so yeah, follow us on Twitter at Fourth Spirit. You can follow Proud at Proud Dota. You can follow me at AUPBDub and send us some questions. You can email them to us at show@fourthspirit.com. Wait, is that right? Oh God, did I just mess that up?
Wait, no, you got it. Show@fourthspirit.com.
Okay, good.
The Gmail that we use is different, but that's
yeah. Well, as I was saying it, I was like, wait, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's at show@fourthspirit.com, or just message one of us on Discord, and support us on Patreon if you want to. We've just met a goal, which is cool.
Yeah, we just did our first Dark Souls episode. I don't know if Sam's posted it yet, but it was like actually very good.
Oh yeah.
It was very good. You need to the entire situation around the second boss was like a perfect like omen for how the entire run was going to go, and it really hasn't disappointed since that. I'm
excited to see it. It sounds really fun.
It's good. Like, it was one of those things where I was like, I didn't really process how fucking funny it was until afterwards, and I thought about what we did, and I was like, we really didn't earn any of the progress that we got. It just happened. It was good. It's good. I want him to upload it because I watch and listen to everything that I do as some form of narcissism that I hide by saying I do it to see if I'm doing good, if I want to change things that I'm doing. But that I'm generally just going to be interested in how it looks.
Yeah, I'm super excited to listen to watch it. It sounds really fun.
Yes, it was very good.
But if you can't support us on Patreon, tell a friend or leave an iTunes review. That's probably the other best way to support the show. And
yes,
I can't remember what Ursi's little catchphrase. Maybe I need to come up with my own little saying. Like, it was something like, I hope we've all learned a little bit. Have you seen him ever do
anything creative? Oh no, he came up with our name. Never mind. Yeah. He's good. Well, He's fine with that.
I mean, yeah, the whole name of the podcast.
Yeah, I think he gets more leeway there. Sorry.
All right then. Yeah, I can't actually remember what his is. It's like we've all learned a little bit about Dota, ourselves and each other, I think. So
something like that. Yeah. You want to know a secret though?
What?
We still need to record ads.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you just pulled a Proud.
Oh no.
I know, doesn't it suck?
Well, last week I had Ursi there prompting me because it was like my first time, and then I didn't have it this time.
Yeah, no, it sucks. I hate doing ads.
Whoops.
Okay, well, we'll add it in post.
Yeah. All right then. Goodbye, everyone.
It's okay.